the power we need. All the music you want.
Welcome back to Tech Talk on Valley View Radio 97.7. Today we are zeroing in on personal cybersecurity with our special guests. We have Frank, a cybersecurity analyst, and Dennis.
Thanks for having us. I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Once again, I go by the name Dennis Yatel, certified ethical hacker, and today I'm very happy and glad, elated to share what we have here. Thank you.
Threats include phishing scams, malware, and data breaches. People often underestimate how easily their information can be compromised, especially through social media and email. So you can receive a message telling and promising you certain things, especially when you're in the need of money. Things like this quite often happen to the most people who are very in it for such things, and scammers are willing to take advantage of you, and those ones are the most common. However, on organizational levels, we have ransomwares whereby they take away your data and you're not able to function as normally as you should, and those are quite often in our areas.
That's a great point from our guest, from Frank here. So I also like to add one particular threat individual face. Yeah, and this particular threat, we have to be really mindful about that. And then it is the spyware. Yes, a spyware, and it's a growing threat actually. You might not detect it, you might not know that it's coming, but it is there actually. So this is a type of software, right, that secretly monitors your activities without your knowledge. Yes, you don't know, you have no idea that is there, but then it is there, which is, monitoring whatever you are doing, such as collecting sensitive information like your password, your credit card details, or even tracking your location. Yes, and that is how dangerous it is, right? So for example, like we have one particular spyware that is a key loggers. Yes. So with the keyloggers, what it does is that like it records everything that the user types on their keyboard, right? Whatever device you're using, if mobile device or desktop, whatever. Yeah. So with this particular, it is a spyware. So it records your keystrokes, right? So maybe if you go to Facebook and they ask you to input in your username and your password, right? Your type obviously, and then this keylogger spyware will capture everything, and then whoever initiated this particular attack will know your password. And then this particular one that really scares me a lot, and it's very notorious spyware, that is called a Pegasus, right? That was developed by the NSO group. They developed it for something else, but then the attackers out there saw this Pegasus software and they decided to I don't want to really go technical, but when this particular spyware is installed on your mobile device, or your desktop devices without your knowing, right? The attacker can access your messages, your WhatsApp messages, your email. They can even turn your microphone and your camera, right? They'll be spying on you. So it is a spyware here, obviously. So this Pegasus, once it's installed on your device, it is deadly, right? And so please be very careful with the way you install apps on your devices. Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Okay. So what can listeners do to safeguard themselves against these phishing attempts?
All right. So the first thing that normally happens is people receive links, and we are in a digital world where everything is almost a click away. So first thing that we want people to do, especially for those who use emails, don't just click on a link. There are websites that are made to specifically verify whether the email that you've received is actually authentic. So we have verifalia.com, and we also have emailchecker.net. So you can go to these websites. When you receive a mail from an unknown source, first check whether is it legit, is it a real person. And another one is a URL checker. Make sure to use them. Whenever you're doubting the authenticity of a URL link, go to urlvoid.com and virustotal.com. These websites are made specifically for people to be sure that the link that I'm clicking on, the email that I'm receiving, is from an authentic source, and that I won't get a software like Pegasus installed on my device. So that's one thing that we want people to really use.
Okay, yeah. All that Frank said is true. So please be careful online. And to mostly these phishing scams, right? They happen with the email services, right? The Gmail services, right? The electronic mails, yeah. So Yahoo to Google Mail to whatever, name them, right? So to avoid this, right? Usually the email filters are inculcated in such services, right? Google Mail like this, when it was developed, obviously they knew such attacks will happen, so they introduced the email filter. So basically what it does is that they catch suspicious messages before they reach to your box. So if you have noticed, usually there's this section where it says spam, right, in your mail, right? That is the suspicious or the phishing mails that comes to your inbox, right? So when this email filters are able to filter these messages, email coming to your inbox, right? It's sent to the spam section, right? And they are already enabled in your email, yeah. But then there was a time that it's not the time that is efficient, right? Because for example, there was a time that I had two Google account here, Gmail account, and I decided to test it to see how well this spam filtering email technology works. So I sent a message from my first email to the second email, and for some reason the second one considered the message that I sent as a spam. Up to now, I'm not able to understand why it's like that. But then that is how good it is working. But it's not 100% efficient or accurate. So I advise the users out there to use like third-party email filters. Right, there's this popular one called the Spam Titan. Right, well, it is paid though, but then it is worth paying. Right, to enable or ensure that phishing, attack, you are not a victim of phishing attempts. Right, so all these things are not very technical. Right, you just have to know them on your fingertips, right? So you would not be a victim. So the Spam Titan is one popular one. Then this one called the Mimecast. You can go online, you search for it. There are free ones out there, but be mindful too. The free ones can also be deadly, right? Very, very dangerous. So the ones that are paid, who there's nothing like free lunch, obviously, yeah, but pay and then be free,
Okay, so use the third party email filters and you'll be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. So, these are very great tips that we have received from our guests. Listening to what most listeners said during last week, people asked about malware. So, then we move on. So, what are some of the steps that they can use as individuals to protect their devices from these malwares?
All right. If you're looking right now, I have a cable in my hand. If you're listening to this, think carefully about this scenario. Let's say you go to an event, let's say a wedding, and your phone battery runs out. And now you're just looking to charge your phone. Of course, people like having phones where the battery is not that good. I'm not naming any brand, they know themselves. But let's go on. That's not the topic today. Let's just say you have ran out of battery and you're just looking to charge your phone. And then you see a cable or someone offers you to charge your phone. But here's the thing. There's something called juice jacking. What it means is that this phone cable can be used as a charging cable and also a data transfer cable. That means the moment you plug it in your phone, I'm going to get your sensitive data on your phone. God forbid it happens to you, but we're just informing you. So one way that you can prevent that from happening to you, take your own charger. Yes, be proactive. Take your own cable to the event, even though you end up looking like, but you know your phone, the battery is not good. So please have it around you. And here's another thing. Some of us like watching movies online. And let's just say we don't use legitimate websites. Now, here's a friendly advice from me. Please, to protect your device, use ad blockers. The reason why we tell you this is because time and time has proven that these websites, 80% of the time, have adware. They have old type of malware on them because it's free. So if it's free, then you are the product. Something is happening in exchange. It's whether it's your data or anything. So having an ad blocker adds a layer of protection to you which you wouldn't have had. And having that is one way of protecting yourself. Sometimes I encourage people to have antiviruses, but antiviruses are getting a bit tricky because you may have an antivirus, but if it's not updated, that there's no point of having that antivirus. And also, some people used to say, "Oh, I'll have a MacBook. MacBooks have no viruses." Lie. That's a big myth because there's no such thing as a perfect software. Everything can be broken given time. And some people did recommend having Linux, but without having to get techie, I'll just tell you, less people use Linux. That means there are going to be less attacks towards Linux. That means Windows users, please get antiviruses into your computer or else you'll suffer big mistakes. And one thing I would like to talk about is VPNs and public Wi-Fis. Here in this institution, if you don't know, we have a public Wi-Fi. And so when you connect to it, everything you do can be seen on it. In terms of when you're using the network, your internet provider can always see. And we remember that thing that we used to do where we go incognito mode and you think that you think that no one will know what you see. No. In fact, Google has been accused of actually keeping data of people who use the incognito mode. So you'd think let me use incognito mode to stay private. No, that's not how it works. It's just not keeping your history, but your internet provider can still do. So having a VPN adds a layer, but it's not also safe. One way which will be safe is like having your own satellite, having your own satellite giving you internet. That for sure, maybe you'll be safe. But in terms of device safety, you have to get your VPN. When you're using a public Wi-Fi, you have to use your own cables that you trust, so that you prevent yourself from getting juice jacking. And also, if you see a storage device, don't just pick it up and be curious. Oh, let me plug in and see what's on it. I've seen people do that at our department. Someone can leave like a USB
drive, yeah.
flash drive, and then someone would just come and plug into the computer. Please, here's a friendly reminder. You don't know what is on it. Don't get curious. Don't be too adventurous. Anything can happen. And last thing, which I would like to talk about later on in bigger detail, are passwords. Yes, please, Dennis, continue.
Okay. One particular thing that I always advise those who are always on their mobile devices and then their laptops, is keep your softwares and an operating system updated, or basically keep your systems updated, right? What I mean by that is, usually, for example, a desktop machine, right? I'm owning a Dell Latitude, whatever desktop machine, and then it has a Windows 11 operating system running on it, right? And then when I go online, Microsoft is like, oh, there's a new update, right? And then they want to update your system for you, right? Usually these things are done automatically, right? All that you have to, all that you need is internet connection, and then the update will, do it for you. There is a particular thing called a daemon. I don't want to be very technical here. It's called a daemon, right? That keeps track of, or that basically tells your operating system, oh, it is time to update itself. Yes. I don't want to go too technical, but basically, my point is ensure that, or make sure that your operating systems are up to date, because probably there was a bug in the software, or there's a bug in an operating system, and then they are patching it up, right, to prevent any attacks or that sort. So please keep your operating system updated. If you don't know how to do that, right, well, you can go online and then search, especially the computer science student, the IT students. If you are not, or if you're unsure on how to go about that process, you can go online. But if you have no idea how to go online or whatsoever, right, you can seek help, right, and then ensure that your operating systems are all up to date, right. I was one particular guy who I had first. I didn't know the essence of having my operating system updated, because I felt like it was taking space. It was making my PC too slow, right? But please update your operating system, update your softwares, basically, right? So vulnerabilities that happen in it are not exploited. You get it? And also avoid downloading suspicious files and apps. If you go online, for example, the gamers, yes, this is an advice to you. Yeah, the gamers, especially, don't go online and you're like, oh, this is FIFA 2024, so let me download. No. Again, there's nothing like free lunch. So go online and then you find a suspicious file. You might not even know that this is suspicious, that if I download it onto my machine and then to work fine. No, be careful with them, right? Be very, very cautious with them. I mean, immediately, some of them, when you install it, immediately you download it on your device, it'll start working. Yeah. No, you haven't even installed it yet. Just the download, it'll start working. Yeah. So be careful. If you go online, the movies, those who like to watch movies too, the website you go to, be careful. Like when you go there, ensure that where you are going, you don't suspect anything, right? Don't download any files or apps anyhow. Your mobile devices too, the same thing. Do not download. Just don't go online and then install any APK file, expecting it to just install on your device and then work with it. No, 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 no. You don't have to do that. There was this particular file or app I installed. It was an APK file on my Android phone. I installed it to get free Wi-Fi or get free internet, but little I knew that it was actually a spyware. I went online, I read about it, and it is a spyware, right? This is just a fun tip, right? Usually when you go online, let's say Instagram, right, and maybe you want to share a video with your friend, when you tap on the share button, there are like apps listed down there that you can share the video with your friends. I saw this particular app in the share. I'm like, no, this mustn't be here. So I went online. I went to search on this particular app, and indeed it was a spyware. I didn't have any idea about it. Like it was a spyware. So it means someone was spying on me, right? I haven't been attacked, right? Maybe like someone stealing my bank account credit or something like that, right? I never had that mindset that, oh, since I've been attacked before, so I'll only be attacked, right? Probably they are conspiring just to come and attack me. So be careful online. Don't download any suspicious file, and yes, be very, very, very careful. But I want to be particular about keeping your softwares and your operating system updated, right? All right.
So as we've heard from our guests, they said we should be mindful of what we share publicly. We should adjust our privacy settings to limit who can see our posts and personal information. Also, we should think twice before accepting friend requests from unknown people. So with this all in mind, and also noting that public Wi-Fi can be a hacker's playground, we should avoid accessing sensitive information like banking details on public networks. If you must use public Wi-Fi, then consider using a virtual private network, which you know as VPN, to encrypt our connection. Welcome back once again to VVR 97.7 FM. This is Tech Talk, and now we are moving on to talk about password security. So what are some of the best practices for creating and managing our password?
Alright. So I'd like to really go deep on this point. Create strong passwords. Passwords. Question: when was the last time you changed your password? Another question, don't answer. The password that you are using, how many places do you use it? Is it the same password on your Facebook, Instagram, everywhere else, even on your Google, even on your Gmail? Is it the same or you just changed a bit small elements? How long is your password? Things like this really make it easy for a hacker to really obtain your details. If you have one password throughout everywhere, that's just an easy meal for a hacker. So let's make their life harder, at least for your defense. Now I'm going to need you to make a password longer than 12 characters, if you can manage. Make sure it has letters, it has numbers, and it has characters. Make sure that your password is not a phrase. Don't put your name in. For example, my name is Frank, and I'm going to say Frank at 123. Don't do that. It's just too easy for a hacker to guess. And also, combine phrases. You can make it hard for the hacker to get it. And one thing about passwords that has been made new, we have two-factor authentication. This adds an extra layer. That means even if, God forbid, the hacker had your password, he still would have to have something else. He would have to have your eye. He would have to have maybe your thumbprint. He would have to receive the message that they will send to your phone, at least, or even receive mail to your Gmail account that you used signing up. Things like this make you a bit safer on the internet. And now we even have password manager. Google has a password manager. There's also other companies like Dashlane and 1Password. And we really I personally encourage people to use these password managers. Because here's the thing. You may not be able to remember passwords. I have forgotten passwords. In fact, most of the times I forgot password button. But here's the thing. If I had a password manager and all I had to do was put my fingerprint and access it, so in case I need a password, I know for sure it's saved there. So I have one master password to get to other passwords. This makes sure that it's safe. And I did go along to make my own password manager. I mean, we're we're computer science guys. You have to get your hands a bit dirty. And I use certain algorithms to encrypt even the password, so you can get the file containing my passwords, but good luck decrypting it. So things like this, and I can actually make it available online on my GitHub. But the essence of this is not just to flaunt that, oh, I can make a password manager. No, it's because I'm showing you how important I consider my safety online is, that I go that far, that I have two-factor authentication. I change my password every 6 months. Every 6 months. That's the very problem, because after the 6th month, the first month, I still remember the password that I was using the past 6 months. So I still have to juggle my brain a bit to get that new password. So it's a bit of a challenge, but at least I know that every 6 months. And by the way, since I just said 6 months, I think I have to level up my game to at least 3 months, So, but never think you're not a target. Please never think you're not a target, that you don't need to consider this. We plead with you, especially our parents. Yes, it's hard to keep the password, but please be mindful. The world is not your friend. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so he has said it all. He has said it all. Yeah, so please learn from this and then also educate others on it. But I also like to add that you should avoid using common passwords. You see, when at that time I was very young, and then I don't know if it was my brother or my other brother or something like that. Yeah, someone told me that I can use the word password as my password. And in my head I'm like, oh yeah, no one will ever guess that my password is password. Right? That is very common. I was very young. Actually, I had no idea, yeah, something like this. So as I grew up, I got to learn all these things that I've using common password. Someone can easily guess it. Yes, your name, you shouldn't ever let it cross your mind that use your name as your password. Yeah, because for example, if let's say I'm an attacker and then I come up to you, I want to befriend you. I'm getting information from you, your name, your pet's name, your mom's name, everything about you, right? I'm going to be a little bit technical here. There's something called brute forcing, right? With this particular attack, what the attackers do is that they gather every information that they've gotten from you, like your name, whatever, right? And then they'll use the information to, like brute force or force their way into, maybe if they are cracking into your bank account, right? Or maybe like your Facebook account here. They'll use the information they've gathered from you, right, through social engineering, obviously, to break into your Facebook account. So if you give them your name and then your pet's name, yeah, some users actually do that. They use their pet's name. I have a friend, he uses his pet's name as his password, and I advise him not to do that. And I don't want to mention his name though. I don't want to mention his name. So he uses his pet's name as his password, which is very terrible, right? If you have no idea that the password that you are going to use for your account is strong or not, there's this particular website. It's free now, you don't have to do any payment. It's called Password Monster, right? When I typed password as my password, it says that time to crack your password 0 seconds. Yes, 0 seconds, 0 seconds. Let me use my name. 0 seconds. I mean, that is very terrible. If I use a very strong password, like maybe a mixture, if Google is even suggesting a password for me, and that is like a mixture of characters, 5 asterisks, T, S, Z, capital R, and it says time to crack your password is 2,000 trillion years. That is going to like take a lot of time, right, for the cracker to try to break into your account, right? So please avoid using common password, and I want to also be particular about this. Regularly change your password, right? Because the attackers, they have this thing called the what's the name? A dictionary, like filled with so many passwords, right? And then the more the more users are using accounts online and things, right? The attackers are getting these passwords and adding it to their dictionary, so later they can use to brute force into your or break or crack into your account, right? So be changing your password regularly so you don't be a victim to cracks or yes, to these kind of attacks. So stay safe online. Thank you.
So just like our dentists say, think of your password like a toothbrush. Don't share it with anyone. Change it regularly, and the longer it is, the better it works. As we've touched on passwords, we will then move on to tackle something important before we go to our next point. Now, when we are talking about passwords, then this also comes to mind. You mentioned an app which generates passwords. So if an app is able to generate password for me, or able to tell me that it takes this amount of time to crack my password, then what shows that we the people into tech, we the people, the computer scientists and the rest, can just enter your password, hack it, enter your accounts by just using those same apps that are being used to generate those passwords for you.
You see, this particular website I'm talking about, Password Monster, there, when you input in your password, it will tell you the number of the time it can take to crack your password. I mean, the attacker sitting out there doesn't know my password, right? He doesn't know that my password is a mixture of or a combination of letters and then my name, right? So the attacker wouldn't be able to, like crack into my account easily, just like that, right? There are apps that are able to generate passwords a lot, like your name. A mixture of your name, a mixture of characters and things, right, to break into your your account, right? But before the attacker will be able to know that, oh, this guy used his name or his his last name, his pet's name, his mom's name, his grandfather's name, his to create his account, to create his password. Yeah, obviously he has to come to me, use social engineering to fish out information from me. Right, and I don't think as an ICT security personnel, I don't think that I'll try avoiding that, right? But then someone who has no idea, right? Please don't just share any information, right? Don't give information out just like that, right? Because people would use that against you, right? So this password monster that I'm talking about is just to test the strength of your password, right? So for example, I just generated a password which is going to take like 174 trillion years, right? So the attacker out there doesn't know that this password I'm using it, right? But from my side, I know that it was going to take a very long time for this attacker to crack it. And this password, I can't store it in my head, right? I have children thinking about it, or have more things to worry about here. So use password managers to store your password and then safeguard them. Yeah.
Welcome back once again. Now we are going on to a topic that impacts almost everyone listening: social media privacy. We all love staying connected and sharing moments online, but just how much are we giving away? Social media is like a big party, but do we really know who is listening in? Today we are going to unpack how you can still enjoy the party while keeping your personal information safe. So Frank, to start with you, how should people be most concerned about when it comes to privacy on social platforms?
Private information should be always kept private. Okay. In this new age of showing out what you're having a good time, I did remember a funny story. Well, it was a bit sad because, to the person, but they kind of did it to themselves. And this person took a picture of their flight number and all the details and posted it on a story, Instagram story. You can see how this is going wrong, right? And then someone saw all those details, directly went to the website and canceled the flight of the person. Canceled the flight. So you're kind of saying that private information should be indeed kept private. I do quite remember some parents who have refused their big stars. I'm not mentioning names, but he said that he doesn't want to share pictures of his children online. I was wondering why. Well, of course, if you're a star, who's getting kidnapped? That's your child. So keeping them private is gonna save them. So you going online and celebrating, oh, my baby boy, think twice. Information of things like where you live should be kept quiet. I remember, this is about geographical location. I think this was last year. A rapper was with a girl, right? His name is PNB Rock. And then this girl went, I think, on Snapchat and just posted her location. I think Snapchat is very famous for that, right? It's like one of the features. And then she did share her location. And then when robbers saw it, they saw that the guy had a chain. And with that chain comes interest. So these guys go to the guy, try to rob him. Pow, got shot. End of life. So you kind of wonder whether you can kind of investigate, was the girl with the robbers, or what is going on here. But this just goes on to show that be careful with the information you share online. You might have liked to say that, oh, I'm at Marriott Hotel, which is great. Yes, I'm happy for you. But the robber is more happy for you because now he knows where you are. So information that you like to share, I for one would advise that you have a private account that you have on your Instagram. If you don't feel safe, enable the privacy so that at least you can control the people coming and viewing your page. And also there are other websites where you can check people who, if you're paranoid, you can check the people who've actually come to your social Instagram, who viewed you and things like that. And another thing is having Truecaller. I think these days Truecaller is pretty much standard. Many people use it so that who's calling me, I want to make sure. And with WhatsApp, you have to know who you're talking with, because scammers like using WhatsApp. And social media is a bit dangerous, but being informed is one way that you can stay safe. If something happens to someone, please listen. Don't just laugh. These things are not made for your entertainment. This is not entertainment that we're doing. We're trying to educate you that someday your mother might call you, or your sister might call you telling you to send me money, and the voice is them, but the person is not real. It's actually someone using AI voice generated to actually solicitate funds from you. So social media, these days I do understand people who actually stay away from it. If you want to stay away from it, you won't miss out a lot of things. I think it's actually making people waste a lot of time. I personally am a witness. I'm a victim. Yes. So instead of you spending time and studying, you're spending your time scrolling the night away. So let's be careful about that. It's also about your mental health. So be careful with that also.
So for those of us that still want to waste our time with social media, then I would ask, what resources or tools do you recommend for people like us to stay informed about our social media privacy, and how can we keep up with the best practices?
Okay, so I think we've mentioned some of them already, like the password managers. If you want to ensure that your password are safeguarded, use password managers, right? Frank mentioned of one that is a one password, right? Some of them are paid, but again, it is worth paying so you keep yourself safe, right? And then I think this technology didn't come. It came not too long ago. The two-factor authentication. Most social medias they have them right installed on there, or they have them in there already, inculcated in them already. So enable your two-factor authentication apps, right? Because these attackers, right, they are finding ways and means to like bypass your WhatsApp, your Facebook without this two-factor authentication, right? So if you don't have that enabled, you can easily get your WhatsApp hacked. And surprisingly, I found it very terrifying, like as to how someone can easily hack your WhatsApp. Well, I'm not going to be here and then teach you how to hack WhatsApps, right? But obviously I'm not doing that. But it is terrifying, very, very, very terrifying as to how easy it is, right? Anyone can go online, search for how to hack WhatsApp, and then boom, you just have it done, right? Yeah. So enable your 2FA, that your two-factor authentication, right? Any social media that you are using, especially WhatsApp, right? And then also, if you go outside, and then maybe you go to, let's say, airport or a coffee shop, right? They have this free Wi-Fi, right? And you might think that, oh yes, I'm having free Wi-Fi, so I can just go online and browse, right? Be careful, because someone sitting out there, right, might like impersonate the Wi-Fi over there. Maybe let's say the Wi-Fi name is coffee free. That's the Wi-Fi name. An attacker can be there and then also name his Wi-Fi coffee free, and then you would enter into his network. So whatever that you are exchanging online, right, the attacker can see, right. This thing, we call it the man in the middle, right. It's an attack, right. MITM, yeah, man in the middle attack. So whatever that you are inputting or whatever that you are sharing online, especially your password and that sort, right? The attacker can see it. So to safeguard yourself from this, use VPNs, the virtual private network, right? Again, I'm not going to go too technical. This is just education, right? So use VPNs. If you don't know that what that is, you can go online and then search and then have that all installed on your devices. Basically, what they do is like they protect your information, right? They encrypt your information. So it's like, let's say I'm sharing my let's say my password with someone. Please don't do that. Don't share your password online though. But then let's say you are sharing a sensitive information with someone you don't want to, let other people see, right? What a VPN does is that it encrypts that information, right? It's like it's put a password on it, so the attacker wouldn't be able to like see what's going on. It's like, for example, let's say there are three friends there, right? Friend A, B, and then C. And let's say the friend B is an eavesdropper, right? And if I don't want friend B to know what I'm discussing with friend C, right, I'll start speaking French with friend C, so they will understand, right? That is what the VPN is doing. You get it? Yeah. So, and also to your browsers, right? The Google, the Mozilla Firefox, name them, right? The Microsoft Edge. So they all have features where when they are enabled, security is ensured, right? For example, like the privacy focused feature, right? Mozilla Firefox has that. I think Google too has one of them too. Yeah. So enable them. If you don't know how to do that, you can seek advice, or you can ask for help, right? There's no harm in doing that, right? So please be safe, and then yes, basically be safe online. Yeah, thank you.
As we close, I'd really like everyone to be careful with information that you're sharing online. Be mindful, be very thoughtful, because anything that you're not taking care of, someone is interested in that information. Your password, we've told you tips. Go and use them, try them. Use the ones that you are able to apply to your life. We don't want you to get locked out of your phones and everything because you heard someone suggesting change your password often. No, do it in a sustainable way that you can manage. We've mentioned the use of VPNs. Yes, they might slow your network down, but you'll be safe, okay? And also use your own cables. Don't plug in external devices that you don't know the origin of or you can't trust. Things like this. And also again, social media. Please think twice before sharing sensitive information. Don't listen to a person. Oh, I feel so lonely. You can cheer me up if you show me your credit card number and the security code. No, don't do that. I've seen this spreading around the internet, and please don't do that. We're just saying, be careful. The world is full of wolves. Yes, there are some lambs, but the wolves are still there. And the wolves are wearing sheep clothes. So be careful. Be careful. You heard it from me before it happened to you. If you didn't know, my name is Frank. Thank you for having me.
So with today's discussion, it is clear that navigating a digital world requires a proactive approach to cybersecurity. We've covered a lot, from recognizing common online traits and safeguarding against phishing scams to ensuring your social media privacy and staying safe on public Wi-Fi. Also, remember to protect your personal information. This isn't just about using strong passwords or avoiding suspicious links, but it's about making cybersecurity a part of your daily routine. So whether you are connecting to that free Wi-Fi at your favorite hangout or sharing your latest adventures on social media, always keep security in mind. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Dennis, for sharing your invaluable insights with us today. And to our listeners, don't forget, stay informed, stay vigilant, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or concerns about your online safety.
That's what's up.
Until next time, keep your digital footprint secure, and thank you for tuning in to Tech Talk on Valley View Radio 97.7.